Uh-huh.
And so she is visiting her, I think I want to say is there Greenville, South Carolina?
This is Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay, I want to say that's where it is.
Okay.
So they're not going to be doing shows for the next 2 weeks either.
Okay.
Until they figure out what's going to happen. I think there's surgery involved and whatnot. So
Okay.
certainly our prayers and meditations go out to the people of Cosmic Therapy.
Well, I'm sorry that it's a bad thing, and I guess I can't invite her to the tea party. Maybe when she comes back, and maybe things will be better, and she can come to the tea party.
The show was just on before your show.
I know. I saw it. I saw
The
it.
kids dancing.
Yeah, the kids. You know, I was seeing that with all those kids. The way she handles all those kids, she makes me wonder. Did she used to be either a teacher or a Sunday school teacher, or did she have a lot of children and or grandchildren?
I think she has a lot of family.
Does she?
But apparently she's a Jill of all trades, because like every
Oh,
time,
she is.
You know what I mean? You're like, it makes me wonder if she wasn't this before. It makes me wonder if she wasn't this before.
She's a good one. We like her. We do indeed. All right. All right. Well, anyway, we have new teapots, and I've got to put tea in some of these pots and stuff, and get them ready to roll. And I've got a huge big pot getting ready to boil back there. And so I'm just gonna, while nobody's here, I'm gonna just busy myself about putting tea in pots and things like that. I'll give you another blast of the shape static while I busy about. Let's see how far the new teapot will go. Alright, I have one pot of tea that's here that is ready. It's steeped and ready to go. So don't hold back. Tea is ready in one pot. And we'll be very soon on a second pot. We're looking at a third pot. And a fourth pot on its way. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
It is a good viewpoint to see the world as a dream. When you have something like a nightmare, you'll wake up and tell yourself that it was only a dream. It is said that the world we live in is not a bit different from this.
All right. A cup of tea, let's see. This one will be good. That's a good old standard tea. Oh, yes. Ooh. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh. Now, I hope that you at home have put on a kettle to boil, which has yielded water by now, and your tea is also steeped. And I got a lot of progress made during the 420 roll. As you see, I got tablecloth on the table and stuff. But am I the only one who likes a cup of tea? I know better than that. So, but no one, I guess no one, I know what it is. I was thinking, well, why have we no guests? And, I thought, oh, well, I didn't want to blame it on me for being rude or something. So I thought, well, no one has a bone to pick. No one has anything specific that they feel like they need to complain about. Everybody's happy with the way politics are going. They didn't want to discuss politics or anything like that, and everybody's, And then it has dawned on me, I can blame it on gas prices. No one can afford to drive down to the studio and be on the tea party. It's a sad state of affairs when no one can afford to be on the tea party. So, I hope that you don't get tired of watching me for the next 2 hours that follows the first 2 hours of the first hour that you just watched. But I do have some ideas of the Rantus Maximus, but it's just a happy rant today, and it's whether everybody intends to take advantage of it or not, just the sheer joy of having a tea party and the sheer joy of having the ability to have a tea party and the sheer joy of having our Second Amendment rights and all those kind of things is good, although we kind of do need to guard against those. You know what I think is a concept here is that the revolution is never really over. The successful revolution is one that is perpetually in process. The revolution is never won and is never over. The only time the revolution is over is if it is lost. Okay, so here this is the quotable quote from the mad scientist. The only time a revolution is ever over is when that revolution has been lost, and that's the concept for today. 'Cause you just can't keep that kind of stuff out of the rant, But it's actually kind of amazing to me that we've been able to go the first hour. It's really not the first time, but it doesn't happen that often to go an entire hour and had nobody. And then again, almost everybody I speak to during my day, I go, "Oh, you must come to my tea party." But but that's what's been happening to me lately. Is I've been like I'll wake up or I'm just sitting around, whatever it is, and I just think, wow, I get to have a tea party, and that's like. Yeah, and so, and part of it, though, what bringing that to my mind is because I've been finding a few little doodads to new teapots, new teacups, a new cream pitcher, and some things like that. These kind of items are constantly getting broken and chipped and messed with at the tea party. So I have to constantly replace them. So I'm constantly searching through the thrift stores and stuff like that because I can't afford to buy, new Wedgwood and stuff. So I go through and I try to find something that I feel is appropriate. And I've found a couple that I think are kind of cool. And I saw a teapot yesterday, but it was $6 and something, and I just had to let that one go. But it was, and I got the $2 one. Let me show you my $2 teapot I got yesterday. I'm going to show some of my things. And I think I'll show them in the fisheye. Okay. Oh, I know there must be just hundreds of guests out. Oh, let me see. You don't know what you're missing here. Don't let this stuff oversteep now. Scurry on down here. Okay, let's see. We can do. We'll try this one. All right. All right. This is my happiest piece. This one. This is the new green teapot. Look at the new green teapot. Ta-da! Isn't that a joy? Isn't that just lovely? And on the bottom, you can't see it, but it says Pier 1. It says made in England. And I think maybe for Pier 1 or something. It says Pier 1 and it says made in England on it. And I actually used to work at Pier 1, so I feel like that's a little bit of me-ish in that, and that it has that on there. So I don't see that as a negative. I see that as a plus. I could see coming across that as a negative, but in this case, and this is the other one, and I don't think it says anything. No, it seems to be an earthenware, and it might be considered a small coffee pot. I don't know, because it's a little taller, but to me it's a teapot, and they all look to be pretty functional. It is a teapot because it's got the little strainer in the area right here. But there's isn't that a nice little teapot? Look at that. Yes, indeed. So. So there. How about it? All right. And as always, wah, 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 wah. I'm an alien head. Hi there. Hi. Hello, Yeva. If you're watching, hi, Yeva. We're watching you too. All right. There we go. Okay. Phew. I guess that was a little infantile. Was that a little infantile? Okay, let's see. I could plug in the phone. I could take phone calls. Yeah. Yeah, we could vote on the new wide angle lens. Which shot? There we go. Let's see if I can figure out how to plug this wire in back here. Let's see. Where does it go? Oh, it just goes into a mass of confusion. Yeah, of course it does. There we go. What was that? It didn't sound good. It sounded like one of those making breaking noise. Oh, that's in there. Oh. Let's see. Oh. I don't see a broken thing. Won't get sick. Okay. Let's see. Well, I heard something that went kaplunk, big as could be, and I don't see a broken thing. Huh. Well, it seems to still be, seem to still be on the air, so we stand a chance. Huh? What went kaplunk? Okay, let's see. I hear the dial tone, so I know I'm working. There we go. And I have a telephone number. And it's 505-2806. I better write that down. I better write that down. Let's see. And of course I don't have anything to write with. Who do I think I am? Well, I'll go get something to write with on a piece of paper, and I'll be back. And what I'll do is I'll say, which one do you like best? Do you like this scene? Or do you like the fisheye? Or the straight? That's the straight. There's the fisheye. Okay? All right. Of course, I like the fisheye. It's my new toy. Ta-da! Yeah. Let me go get a pen. Get it at 6. Okay. All right. Hi, come on in and have a seat. You might want to sit in this one. I'll hook up the telephone. Let's see. It's 828 and it's 505 Well, since I had no guests, I was looking into the option. Oh, now you call. I have a guest now. They hung up as soon as I started to pick it up. Oh, that's my cell phone. Oh, let's see who this could be. Probably a bill collector. Hello? Hi, yeah, but you saw me stick the alien face in the... A huge festival. Now, what's the date? The 22nd of August. It's a Friday. It's going to be a huge festival in Barnardsville. UFO experience. Now we want to be there. You know what? I'm thinking about pulling my old UFO out of my storage bin and trying to fix it up. It needs some repair, Yeah, I do. You're right. I have plenty of time to repair. Wow. Well, I wish you. Big Ivy Community Center on the 22nd. I'm sure. I wonder, will there be any place there that we can like plug in and could there be TVs and stuff like people could show DVDs of UFO shows and things like that? Will there be some of that kind of stuff too, you think? Yes. I should cover it for URTV. Yes. Well, let me tell you this. You are also invited to come to the tea party, you and Alien, and particularly with the notion in mind to plug that event. You see what I mean? And you can come several times between now and the time that it happens, to keep people in mind of it. That can be your subject that you bring with you, sort of your show and tell or your subject. If you would care to, I would like to encourage you to. That would be great. All right, did I say all the right things? Okay. All right. Same to you. Bye-bye. That was Yeva. And just before you came, I stuck the alien face right up into the fish eye lens and said hello to Yeva. And she said she had just turned on the TV. And I said, if you're watching, here's the alien, and then I put the eyeball over to the lens. I'll show you what it looks like. Yeah. And I said, and we're watching you. So she had to call back and respond. They can have a big UFO meet, but she can see on the TV what it looks like. Oh, I see. Here it is, and then I said, we're watching you.
So are we going over the air now?
We are. We're live on the air. Watch your mouth.
The cable.
Okay, the cable.
The air, that is an interesting subject I've been hearing a lot on talk radio today.
So tell me. About what?
And on television, on the internet, there's all this talk about the air that's going back, hot air that's coming out of both McCain and Obama.
Yeah, hot air.
And they're talking about tire pressure.
Oh, yeah.
And that kind of air.
Uh-huh.
But they're both really missing the point.
Well, I'll tell you, there's nothing wrong with keeping your tire pressure right.
That's all right, but what's better is keeping pressure in your compressed air tank to run your compressed air car.
Yes, that's true.
Which is being manufactured in France as we speak.
Have you got one of those?
No.
Okay.
Government's making it hard for me to get one.
Are they? They would, yes.
But I'm going to see if I can get me one of those grants.
They were cute. I saw them on TV, and it goes.
And they won't allow me to run it on the road. You know what? We have a lot of off-road vehicles.
It doesn't have enough get up. You would be a traffic hazard.
No, it has enough get up,
Okay.
but there's all these regulations that cars have to be tested and blah blah blah. And they're probably not tested in the U.S. yet. I don't know the scoop.
Right.
Yet.
Right. Well, they might be made lightweight so that they get good mileage.
My God.
Out of it.
Good mileage. We can't have that here.
And being lightweight, if you were hit by an American car, it would probably just shatter that little thing, right? And you no doubt would be killed instantly. So they're doing it to save you.
Like Cooper Minis that they drive around.
I like little minis.
They got a license plate on them.
A friend
you
of
can have a
mine.
motorcycle. That's very light. You can have a bicycle.
A friend of mine back in the '60s had I think it was called a Morris Mini. I think it was called a Morris Mini Minor. All right, and it must have had tire. I feel like they were bigger than that. They didn't have very big
I think
wheels
I've
on
seen
it.
these things or
You know,
seen pictures
and,
of them.
and getting in it. But now you could ride 4 in that thing, but it was like 4 people sitting in like a little tin can. But we ran all over Miami. We had so much fun in that little car. We really
Yeah.
did. It was a fun little car.
Another great thing is there's a fellow, not a Frenchman, but a Australian fellow. Actually, I think he's Italian, but he lives in Australia.
Uh-huh.
And he has developed a engine that runs on air that's different.
Yeah.
The guy in France, his is a piston engine, so it works quite similar to a combustion engine, except compressed air pushes the pistons. Whereas the Australian inventor's engine is rotary in design. And it's much quieter,
And it runs off of air.
and it
The
probably will last a lot longer.
The rotary engine
Yes.
is an air engine, air rotary.
It runs on compressed air.
Okay. Do you know anything about efficiency or
Good, very good.
on the rotary?
Oh, yes. In fact, the one that's being manufactured in France, I believe it gets about 8 to 10 times the mileage that you will as far as the energy that you're expending. Let me explain that. There's 2 different, that company in France makes 2 different basic types of models, although they make lots of models. But the 2 basic differences that you have a regular straight air car
Right.
compressor, and then they have one that's a hybrid, which is a combination of compressed air and a combustion engine.
Right.
And those are better if you want to just keep cruising, like cross country,
Right.
without stopping to refuel.
right.
Because what it'll do is the combustion engine will kick on whenever you're getting low on compressed air and charge. It has a built-in compressor.
Right, and-
Charger, and it charges it back up so you keep going.
Right.
But with that car, you get about 10 times your bang for your buck on the gasoline that you buy, as far
Really?
as mileage. Yes. Very good.
That's amazing.
You
All
can
right.
see them on the internet.
Well,
Just go to YouTube.
Let me back up just a minute, okay? Because I have forgotten your name, and I always forget names, but I didn't introduce you to our host, and we're on this camera now, so tell them what your name is.
Christopher.
Okay, Christopher. And where do you come from? You don't want to tell me?
Originally, I'm from a strange land called the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and a lot of people in that area refer to it as the UP for short, for Upper Peninsula.
Right.
So I'm from there, but I live in Hendersonville right now, and I've lived in the western North Carolina area since 1999,
Okay.
in and around the Asheville area.
All right.
Been in
So
Hendersonville a couple years now.
1999, so what, just, I don't know, 8 or 10 more years, you'll be a local. Okay.
If I'm not El Loco already.
Did I say loco? Anyway,
Yeah.
all right, now I wanted to get back.
But you must be from around here, so you said Loco.
I wanted to get back to the compressed air car. Is that
Yes.
is that your goal at this time? Are you wanting to pick up one of those?
Yeah, I'd like to get one of those. Wouldn't mind, driving around Asheville and picking people up and
They're cute.
give them a ride, maybe even do a taxi service or something. But, I want to expand people's consciousness because these have been shown on major networks.
Yeah, I've seen them.
But it's not in the news every day.
Right.
And those politicians, that's what gets me, is they're missing the point, is they're not saying, instead of talking about air tire pressure, you ought to be talking about the new technologies that do exist, and we need to start using them, and air is the way to go.
Tank tire.
You don't have to fight wars to get air because everybody's got it unless they're
Just
6 feet
need
under.
air tank pressure.
Yeah, you needed something to charge at and electricity.
Well-
Your car, you plug it in.
I'm real interested
And it
in
charges up.
what the rotary engine would be, and I'll tell you the whole deal with the air car and all these kind of cars is the bottom line is getting away from the internal combustion engine.
Exactly.
Because the internal combustion engine really has us locked into the form of fossil fuel that we have just worked to death.
Right.
And it's done a good job for us for a while, but I think, you got to have change. Oh, you probably didn't hear it. I came up with a new saying about it. It had to do with revolution. Things will be different after the revolution. But my thing is that I've said today is about the revolution, is that A good revolution is one that is never over.
Right. It's a continual thing, revolution.
A revolution, and the only but my new saying is the only revolution that is ever over is the revolution that was lost. The revolution that was lost, it's over. If the revolution has not been lost, it's still in progress. So that's where I'm at, and it's time.
Hallelujah, brother.
And it's time for a change. It all boils down to it's time for a change, and I'm really interested in that rotary engine. And
I am most too because it's quiet. It is more efficient than the other one, but I'll take either if I get my hands on one right now because they're far more efficient.
And they're making them in
combustion
where'd
engine.
you say, Australia or where?
He's making them in Australia, and he's got them. If you go to YouTube and just look up the air car and
Is it
say
the-
Australia, and you'll get a number of videos about this explaining
Okay.
exactly how it works, showing you the engine. The engine in his vehicle, he's using. He's got on like a little flatbed thing for carting stuff around, and
A flatbed vehicle.
yeah.
He rides on it.
Yeah, you'll
Okay.
see it in the video.
Right.
And-
It's a chassis.
well, it's an actual vehicle, but he took
Uh-huh.
the existing combustion engine out of it,
Right.
and he put an item in there that's about the size of a standard bathroom scale.
Right. And that
in
runs
shape.
with it.
That's the shape it is. It's kind of
Mhm.
it's only about
Oh.
so thick and maybe
Okay.
about that big in a square. And he's working on he's almost got
Did
perfected.
he
Another
design-
model is
did-
about half the size.
Did he design this, or is
Yes, he
this
did.
is this based on the Tesla thing? Okay. The reason I'm so interested in the rotary engine is back in the '60s and '70s.
Yeah, he did work with that company.
Hmm?
He worked with Wankel. This guy
Oh
did.
no! Back in the '60s and '70s, I had a good friend. My father contracted and did part of it too. Tom Hosick invented a rotary steam engine.
Mhm.
And we had and I ran around on there were car chassis that didn't really have much car on them. They looked more like a dune buggy or something, but they were chassis. So it was easy to change motors in and out of them
Yeah.
and stuff. They were just more of a frame, made of bars and stuff. But we had a lot of thrilling times riding in some of those things, and he invented the ellipticline steam engine. And it was a rotary steam engine. And then for one of his tests, he went out and bought a city bus and removed the engine from the city bus and replaced it with an ellipticline steam engine that was not very big as a bus engine goes. And that bus would spin its wheels so dramatically from a start. If you opened the throttle wide open on that,
Do a wheelie?
no, you couldn't make the bus do a wheelie, but the wheels would just go whoosh, like that till just big clouds of smoke would just boil
Or
off,
rubber, yeah.
boil off of them. Yeah, and then it would like fly across the parking lot, and we'd like flip it in reverse and come back.
Speaking of steam engines,
Right, but the a couple of points about steam engine, steam. See, I think that steam is what originally got us into this trouble, because,
cup number 2.
Okay, because the Industrial Revolution was powered by steam. That's what brought us into this. And guess what? I want to say 1872, 75, something like that. B. Doodle, what's his name, whatever, invented a steam-powered water pump, which was used. You know about this?
I haven't heard about the water pump, but most
Well,
anything that's combustion engine could be
It
done with
was used to pump water out of coal mines,
steam. Okay.
so that the miners did not spend their time with bucket brigades and stuff trying to get the water out of their mines,
Right.
and they could spend more time mining the coal. They were able to more efficiently mine the coal to make the steam when they had now a
And they
steam
use the coal
engine.
to make the steam.
They had a steam engine
The
that
heat
drove the water pump to pump, and that is considered the mark at which that was the birth of the Industrial Revolution, was right there. So it was mining fossil fuel powered with steam. You know, and that's what got that's that, and it went. Most of all the early days went along those lines. You know, it was steam, and it's steam that got us into the problem, and I'm thinking it's steam that can get us out of the problem.
Steam is, I think, better than combustion engine, but the air, I think, is much more efficient because you can easily have, like I say, this car that's made in France, you can either take it to a highly compressor station, where you can have it filled in like about 4 minutes.
But it does take energy from somewhere to
But the
compress
thing is, you
the
can
air.
use solar voltaic cells to create the electricity to charge your car.
Here's my point.
It doesn't take that much energy.
Here's my point. You can use solar voltaic cells to create the energy to run the compressor, to compress the air,
Right.
to run the car.
And you store it.
But what would be more efficient than solar voltaic cells?
Air.
Solar steam.
Wind.
Solar steam
that would be good
to
too.
run to run the compressors to compress the air would be probably more than twice as efficient as the solar voltaic cells.
I don't know. I haven't looked into it, but either would be much more efficient than pumping oil out of the ground, putting in trucks, transporting it to big tankers that go across the ocean. You got to haul this stuff all around, whether it's coal, whatever. But air, you don't have to haul anywhere.
Yeah, but could you control and regulate the profit from the source?
That's the big problem for these people.
Could you?
Well, it can be as far as if one wanted to.
Well, let's not let them.
The energy distribution, we already have a system that's there. The system is in place. Electrical distribution system. So, electricity. Now, of course, if everybody was doing this electrical
But
demand,
the oil guys don't own that. most of
electrical,
them.
I don't know who owns it, but the thing is, what would happen
Lot of them
is
co-ops.
electrical demand would go up. All right?
And distribution stations are often sort of privately owned. But go ahead.
But
For
still,
gasoline.
it's more efficient even if they're powering these power plants, electrical power plants, with diesel fuel or natural gas, or whether it's nuclear or solar or whatever, it's going to be more efficient. I mean, if you're using, say, diesel fuel, it's more efficient to produce electricity with it and distribute it than it is to put it in vehicles and distribute it all over the country to pump stations where it's sold and then put in your vehicle. And also, you got to haul that weight around in your car, which is, you're using energy to haul the fuel, where air is very light.
I know, but they compress. Do they not compress it to a liquid?
Compress air, no, not to a liquid.
They don't compress
It's
it
a
to
little over
liquid?
4,000 psi.
Okay.
So it's lighter weight to haul around. I think they ought to make the bodies of these cars the tank itself, and when you got in a wreck, that would be a big buffer zone right there.
Wouldn't it explode?
That would crack. The tanks that they use in the vehicles are made out of carbon-wrapped fibers.
Yes, and they don't explode.
And if they were impacted or something, what would happen is they'd crack. They don't explode and fly all over. So air is released, and that's not going to hurt you because it's built, it's like placed under the floorboard. So you have, if air is escaping, it's either going to hit the floorboard and, just disperse. It can't hurt anybody. And just think, if you have an air spill, what's the cleanup cost?
I don't know. What's it take to mop a thing like that up?
Well, you just like calculate your losses and say goodbye. Move on. The other thing is they take the air, when you have compressed air and it's released, it becomes cold.
Yeah.
And so what they do is, in the French vehicle, they take the air that's coming out of the tailpipe and recirculate some of it back for air conditioning when needed.
Right.
Works great.
And how about for the heater in the summertime?
Now, I've wondered about that as far as producing heat, because